Welcome back, Wildcat fans, to the final edition of the Bear Down Breakdown for this season here with head coach Chad Berman. Coach, coming back into the building after those wins against San Diego State, what was the group or the line that really stood out to you as helping you get those 2 wins on the road?
Well, I think, everybody really contributed, but I think obviously we kind of made some maneuvering and paired Stefan with Rue, and we're trying to find the right combination of the two. And since we put Shet there on the wing, added a little dynamic of speed, hockey sense, and it's been a lot of fun to watch that line. They make plays, especially through the neutral zone, that you just don't expect, and they seem to know where each other are or going to be, and so hopefully that trend continues.
Stefan has been a huge addition on that wing, but looking at a guy who's finishing up his career here at the U of A and Tyler Shetland, what do you think that he's brought to this group over his time here, and what kind of legacy is he leaving behind for the guys who aren't graduating?
I think when you think of Shet, you think of speed and hockey sense. He's a kid who's always got a little jump to him, adds some dynamic to keep the D on their heels. But it's the little plays he makes around the ice that makes his teammates around him better. And I personally, I think that's the best compliment you can give a player when their presence merely makes everybody else better. I think that says a lot about Shet and what he's brought to our organization.
Another senior graduating in Will Josephson, he's been a staple, especially on that PK for the last 2 seasons. Just a tenacious kind of grinding player. You've been working with him for a number of years now during his time here. What has he also left behind in terms of his legacy?
Yeah, well, certainly when I think of Willie, first thing I think of just what a great human being he is. I mean, first and foremost, he's just on and off the ice, the kind of kid you'd want your kid to grow up to be. And so I couldn't be more complimentary of the person. As a player, obviously, he's continued to evolve in our program. He's always had an elite stick. He's very good defensively. He's good in the face-off draw. He plays a nice, simple game, which is a compliment. We needed more guys who play a more simple game. It's easier to pair him up or complement him with other guys. And obviously, he's been a top-notch PK guy for a couple of years now, and just somebody we rely on. And those difficult situations where you're under duress, when you can confidently lean on a kid like that, that says a lot about how we feel about him.
Moving into this ASU, Thursday, Friday stand to finish up the regular season, both, the U of A and the ASU, kind of desperate for, those points in the standings coming into the final games for the national tournament. What kind of layer of intensity does that add for, both teams coming into these games?
Yeah, I mean, I think you could make the case these are maybe the biggest games U of A and ASU have had in several years. These games have a lot of meaning for both of us. We're trying to solidify the best ranking we can. We're heading into the national tournament, trying to play the best hockey we can, and it doesn't matter if it's a thumb war or a hockey game. We want to beat ASU. So, just when you think this rivalry can't get more fun or more special, here we go again now, heading into the end of the season. Everything on the line. I mean, we've really been in playoff mode for a while here, and we've been viewing every game as a must-win, and certainly we view these games too. And so, our key right now is get off to a hot start, play a nice, simple first period. When we start simple and we build from there, it's usually our best outcome moving forward. And so we really want to emphasize that as we head into the weekend here.
Obviously, the national tournament poses the most difficult hockey that any team in the ACHA is going to play. As a coach, how nice is it to get these games that do mean so much to finish up the regular season, where guys can really start to lock in and dial in and get ready for the intensity of the tournament?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think anytime you play this team, no matter the ranking, it feels like a playoff game. That's just what a rivalry it is. And but obviously, with all this on the line and where the two teams stand, that adds a little more incentive. Hopefully, it cuts down on the unnecessary stuff that we don't need. I'm sure the fans enjoy that stuff. As a coach, we're heading to the tournament. We want to avoid the DQs and just we want to be playing our best hockey and focusing on the things that matter. And so this is going to be a tightly checked game. There's not going to be a lot of space, and I can't think of a better way to prepare for the national tournament than like that, because obviously we've got a lot of experience in that tournament. That tournament feels like those games feel like a jungle. It's not a lot of room out there. You got to compete for every inch, and so we might as well get into that now and make that habit.
Wildcat hockey. There's an atmosphere to this game. The icy chill that hovers in the air. The rumble of dedicated fans against the glass. The sound of metal carving its path. Someone once said hockey was figure skating in a war zone. they weren't exactly wrong. There's an athletic tradition at the University of Arizona, one that isn't deterred by cacti or blistering heat. A tradition of hard work, perseverance, and preparation. A tradition of camaraderie and of school spirit. It grants us hope when times are hard and makes us strong so we can rise to our feet again. This tradition, it lives inside these players, and it lives inside their fans. So join us. We're ready to bear down. And something tells us you are too.
Welcome in, Wildcat fans, to another edition of U of A hockey here at the Tucson Arena as we get set for puck drop. U of A versus ASU, the final two home games of the season for your U of A Wildcats, as ASU takes the ice here as number 31, Nate Glenn, leads out ASU, so he will be the starting goalie in net. And for U of A, they'll be going back to Hayden Gould, who has been such a stalwart in the net throughout this entire season. He's played a lot of games, but talking with him at practice this week, he really just loves getting his reps in, loves the game, loves to play, and he doesn't mind bearing that workload. And Hayden Gould has been fantastic all season. Sebastian Janik joined in the booth today by Garrett Kane. Always good to have the color commentary with me up in the booth.
Good to have you, Sebastian.
So very excited to finish off this season on a high note against ASU. 2 evening games. Nothing better than U of A ASU hockey at the Tucson Arena. We've had a couple of 1 p.m. starts in a row, and it feels great to be back here on an evening. Fans in the building, a lot of excitement, and two teams who are playing for their national tournament hopes and lives at the moment. The U of A in a pretty safe spot rankings-wise, but ASU, if they can't come away with some wins here, they might not be heading to the national tournament. So, Garrett, you know how intense these games always are, but you add that extra layer of pressure when it comes to qualifying for the tournament. I got a feeling there's going to be 2 great games here.
Yeah, 100%, and the energy in this building on a Thursday night is just electric. It's good to have everybody here joining in at the TCC and joining in on stream.
So in just a moment here, we will get the starting lineup for your Wildcats. So as we get the ASU starters, after that we'll move into the U of A. And interested to see who Chad Berman goes with his starting 5. Of course, Hayden Gould in net. But up front with 2 seniors graduating, and Tyler Shetland and Will Josephson. We'll see if they get the start here.
And now the lineup for your Arizona Wildcats. At right wing, number 27, Tyler Shetland. At left wing, number 26, Wyatt Stefan. At center, number 18, Riley Rue. At right defenseman, number 22, John Bayard. At left defenseman, number 4, Billy Maloney. And in net, number 30, Hayden Gould. Coach Chad Berman. Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to Section 112 for tonight's playing of the National Anthem, performed by the University of Arizona Pet Band.
So always such a great facet of college hockey to have the pet band in the building both tonight and tomorrow as the lights come up at the TCC and the Wildcats get ready to take on ASU. The Wildcats did secure the Cactus Cup earlier this season, so the Wildcats coming in with a 4-1 lead in the season series against ASU. Cactus Cup done and wrapped up. 6th consecutive cup will be staying in Tucson. But ASU, they've got a lot to fight for in terms of trying to get into that national tournament. A proud group. Player to look out for on ASU, number 71, Ryan Robinson, drawing back into the lineup. He missed a lot of time this season. Former D1 player for ASU, came down to the ACHA club team, and an incredibly dangerous power play expert. Offensively, always dangerous off the rush. But the Wildcats, they've got a lot to look forward to as this top line of Shetland, Rue, and Stefan begin to go to work. Stefan came over during the winter break. He's been huge for the Wildcats so far. Now Tyler Shetland drags it out in front. Shetland trying to put a pass out in front as he got a couple quick shots away. So Tyler Shetland starting the game off right in his final 2 matchups as a Wildcat at the Tucson Arena.
Yeah, Shetland placed that puck perfectly there, almost squirting past on the left pad into the post, but just didn't quite make it in.
Had the opportunity to talk with Shetland this week at practice. His time at the U of A has meant an incredible amount to him, and he's meant a lot to this team. Such a talented, speedy winger, adds a lot of offensive dynamics to whatever line he's playing on, and paired with Rue and Stefan here to begin this first period. On the back end, Baird with Maloney. So the Wildcats are able to win that faceoff. Now Baird with a quick shot, traffic out in front, didn't get through. But the Wildcats able to establish a little bit of offensive pressure right off the jump, and now Cameron for ASU brings it over the blue line. Baird, he has to recover, gets it up to the red line, but sealed off there by the layers of ASU as Maloney had a little bit of trouble getting it over to his D partner, but they stay cool, calm, and composed and force ASU back into their own zone.
Yeah, and Maloney showing what he's got here, breaking up 2 plays against the Sun Devils rushing.
So now down below the net, Kennedy for ASU tries to rim it around, get some support, but Jack Curley, number 8 there for the Wildcats, forces it back out of the zone. Quick shot in on Gould, and he just decides to hold on to that and get a face-off.
And Ty Marchant, great opportunity in the middle of the ice through the neutral zone, showing his speed and what he can do with the puck, making that play happen for the Sun Devils.
So the Wildcats here will get the first defensive zone draw of this game. In to take the face-off there was Phillips for ASU, but Chioka, good to see him drawing back up into the lineup. The top scoring defenseman for the Wildcats. Now maybe a chance here for Hughes with a quick shot and a good pad save. Forced Glenn to kick the rebound out there. So a good opportunity for Hughes as he throws a big reverse hit along the benches. And now Hughes with it once again. Hughes with a nice dangle, gets down below the dot, tries to throw it to the slot. Couldn't connect. And now Robinson trying to chase down Keoka, my apologies to the Keoka family. Huge hit there as Keoka absolutely buried his man, but the wraparound score.
So it looks like Keoka was going to get a penalty on that play, but ASU turned it around and got a goal.
So the player that we highlighted, I believe that was Robinson on the wraparound, takes advantage of the miscommunication from the Wildcats, and ASU up on the board early in this first period.
And it's really crucial the Wildcats don't let up. Once you see that head ref put his arm up, you got to make sure you get possession of that puck.
So Gould with a little bit of an uncharacteristic mistake from him, as he's been so solid throughout this whole season, but Robinson just kind of surprises him on the wraparound and buries that. So Butler, number 7 for ASU, he took the hit from Keoka and was down at the blue line. And Garrett, if you remember, I believe in the ACHA, if a penalty is called and scored, a goal is scored before the penalty gets called, I think the penalty still carries over even after the goal. We'll find out here. The ACHA rules I know are a little bit different regarding penalties and delayed penalties, and the refs might be discussing here if they want to make it a minor or a major, because it was a bit of head contact there on Butler from Keoka, so the refs are going to have a discussion, try to figure out exactly what to make of this.
Yeah, the refs are definitely trying to make sure they control this game early on so it doesn't get out of hand later. It is the first period, 18:20 remaining.
So less than 2 minutes gone in the period. From what I saw, the ref signaling, he might have been telling the timekeeper 5 minutes because he had the full 5 fingers up. We'll see what the call ends up being here. That would be a huge loss for the Wildcats if it does end up being a misconduct on Keoka. Didn't see the hit because it was a little bit behind the play, but Butler, I think, just got caught. He released that pass. Keoka came across and caught him. We'll get an explanation here from the refs for what exactly this is going to shape up to be. The penalty door for the Wildcats is open, so they're going to have a skater heading over there at some point. As Chad Berman has a discussion with the refs, so Keoka will be heading to the box, so he won't be done for the game. But we'll see what they call what the penalty was. So Keoka trying to get the momentum going early with a big hit. Unfortunately, just not clean enough. And obviously, U of A, ASU, the refs are going to be on top of things pretty easy. So it is a 5-minute penalty against Keoka. So the Wildcats take that 5-minute major penalty, have a goal scored on them, and now they're going to have to go 4-on-5 for 5 minutes, already down 1 with less than 2 minutes gone in the game.
Yeah, that is a big punch in the face for the Wildcats. You have to make sure that you maintain the seconds in between the puck possessions for after you hit for the delayed hit.
So Robinson with the goal for ASU and Keoka with the penalty. So now ASU, they're going to look to pounce and really play spoilers here on this Thursday evening if they can try to bury the Wildcats early in this first period.
And the Wildcats have to be careful not to stay out on the ice too long. You want to make sure you have fresh legs out there the entire 5 minutes of this penalty.
Yeah, usually we see Josephson and Erickson out there for close to the full 2 minutes, but no matter how conditioned they are, they're not going to skate the full 5 as now Newland looks to set things up along the near boards. Up to Olsen with a quick shot. Gould, I don't think he ever saw that, but it hits him in the pads. Diving play at the blue line, but can't keep it onside. As a Wildcat player lost their stick, but they were able to get to the bench, get some fresh bodies. So now Hanrahan pressuring Olsen in the ASU zone. Olsen just, especially with this long of a power play, just content to set up and get the exact look they're trying to go for in terms of a breakout on the power play. Gould settles it down behind the net. Good hard play off the boards to make sure that one got past the blue line.
And the Wildcats are playing this penalty kill very smart, making the Sun Devils work for it.
So Ty Marchand able to get through one penalty killer, but not the second, as Walker and Hanrahan both stood up on him. Gross throws a shoulder into Walker. And, based off of the way Walker plays, his offensive talents, his ability to dangle and play make, it's always interesting to me that Walker is one of those trusted penalty killers as well. Kind of shows the different layers to his game. Is now Gross for ASU, tries to split the D, can't make it clean. Hanrahan with a good active stick, but comes down to Palmer.
So now Sun Devils struggling to set up the power play.
But now they get the look they're going for with Robinson up at the point. So look for Robinson to be the trigger man on this power play. A great cross-seam pass and a better save by Gould.
And that is the tried and true play for a power play for the Sun Devils. Great save by Gould.
A YouTube channel I've grown fond of, a guy named Hockey Psychology, refers to that pass through the slot as the Golden Road, which is the first time I had heard that, but certainly that's the look everyone's going for on the power play. If Robinson can sell shot, force Gould to commit, and then throw it across the slot for that backdoor one-timer. But now Newland goes up to the point to Olsen. Quick shot there, and Gould with a great pad save, and Erickson able to control the rebound. And Erickson puts the shoulder into Olsen. So Brian Erickson, as always, one of the most entertaining penalty killers I've ever watched play the game.
And the Sun Devils are really trying to stretch the ice. Wildcats are doing a great job of cutting through the middle to ensure passes don't go through.
So Kylie Ram tries to feed it to the middle, can't get anything going, and the Wildcats, with only 1:46 left to go on the PK, have done a good job killing off that momentum, especially since ASU scored prior to the penalty even being called.
And a lot of that has to do with the Wildcats getting quick changes, having fresh legs.
So Gross tries to dangle through, lose possession. Now Robinson, and Walker strips the puck from him. What a great stick by Dylan Walker to break that play up.
And Walker, it doesn't look like he's done down there.
So now once again, Robinson, he'll set up in his own zone as ASU tries to get speed through the middle. Now Gross with a little bit of time and space. Gross turns back, looks for the open man, back to the point to Robinson, to Gross. Robinson over to Marchand. Marchand with a quick shot, and Gould no rebound. So a great job by Gould to fight through the traffic and hold on to that puck.
And the Wildcats are really playing like a team here in this first period with 14-17 remaining.
And they might be down by one, but if the Wildcats are able... So it looks like Josephson is heading to the box here, I think.
I'll just pick up a stick. I think the linesman threw that over the boards.
So Gross is in the box for ASU. There might have been a bit of extracurriculars at the end of that whistle. I didn't see a whole lot, but enough for the refs to deem that Gross needs to serve 2 minutes. So now, with 57 seconds left on that 5-minute major, it'll be 57 seconds of 4-on-4, and then the Wildcats will get an abbreviated power play, which is huge, especially with Kioka coming out of the box as he's that power play quarterback. So now Swiger in to take the face-off, not able to win it there. Olsen, though, gets the puck stripped by Swiger. Now Swiger feeds it out in front to Slack, just can't connect. So now Maloney skates to the middle looking for a lane. Was trying to find Swiger streaking to the net, just couldn't connect. So 4-on-4, a bit more open ice here as ASU tries to spread things out. Baird tries to go back to Slack. That one took a funky bounce right into the blue paint. And Gould has to paddle that away from danger. Now Slack pressures at the line along with Swiger. 3 opportunities to spring someone on a break, and the puck would just not comply there. So now Baird with speed over the blue line, going 1-on-4, allowing the Wildcats to change behind. 11 seconds left to go on the 4-on-4, and then the Wildcats will get about a minute of power play time. So Kioka up in the box, ready to go, as Quast brings this over the line. Quick shot and a good blocker save by Gould.
And now we're back to 5-on-4 hockey.
So now a brief power play for the Wildcats as Walker, he slows things down. Gets it over to Kioka with a blast and a good save by Glenn.
Yeah, and Kioka wastes no time getting on the ice and showing his strength on the puck.
Keoka, definitely a power play specialist. So good to see him back healthy in action before the national tournament against the ASU for these final 2 games. Really missed him on the power play while he was gone. He does such a good job quarterbacking it and getting shots through. Quick shot there from Keoka. That might have got tipped out in front, but a good save by Glenn. Now Walker, they try to work it back to Hughes. Keoka over to Stefan. Stefan, nice little move along the boards, but gets taken down. 4-man battle along the boards. Now it comes out to Walker. Over to Keoka. Fakes the shot. Walker. Keoka with a blast, and he scores! Nicholas Keoka with a huge goal to get the Wildcats back tied at 1. And Walker worked it perfectly. Play give and go and wait for a lane to open up, and Keoka makes no mistake on Glenn.
Yeah, Dylan Walker really took those 5 minutes to really think about the shot he was going to take there.
And Keoka, he takes that early penalty, watches the ASU get the lead, but that 5-minute kill really got the Wildcats back into this game in a short power play, and they make ASU pay on the PK. So after killing off 4 minutes, the Wildcats go on a short power play, and Keoka with the goal to get this all squared up at 1 in the first with 12:30 left to go. So good to hear these U of A chants back in the building, the pep band. Such a fantastic hockey atmosphere here in Tucson. And that's going to definitely be a penalty there as a trip. So now the Wildcats with speed over the blue line. Erickson cuts back, goes to the middle, quick shot. That one goes wide on Glenn. Rossi was trying to throw it back in, but now the Wildcats headed straight to the power play. Once again, is good job moving their feet, creating some chaos, and drawing another penalty.
So it's going to be Carter Newland going the box for 2 minutes for tripping.
And I got a feeling Keoka will probably be right back out there again. Yep, there he is up at the point with Stefan. So Hughes, Walker, and Rue, the 3 forwards, and then Keoka and Stefan manning the point. So now a big opportunity for a momentum swing in this game if the Wildcats can keep the power play pressure on. It was clinical the first time out. Full 2 minutes to go here. So waved out of the dot. And in to take the face-off is Hughes for the U of A going against Kennedy. Hughes able to win it back to Keoka. Keoka with a quick shot with Rue all up in the grill of Glenn in front of the net, not giving him any eyes to see, but luckily that one just kind of hits him. But Nate Glenn coming in on the roster at 6'5", 205. He might not need to see many pucks in terms of just getting that body in the way, and you see how little room there is when he's fully extended. But the Wildcats take away the eyes, don't let him see the puck. Shots from the point can never go wrong on the power play with that mentality. So now Walker back to Keoka. Walker, nice pass over to Stefan, just hops off the stick. Stefan tried to force that middle, but now Rue with a chance tries to feed it back to Hughes. So we'll see what the call is here.
Looks like the net just went off.
Oh, okay, net came off the mooring. So ASU might got a little bit lucky there as the Wildcats were starting to break down the defensive coverage. But net pops off. They'll fix that real quick, and Wildcats will get back to work with 1:33 left to go on the power play, 11:41 left to go in the period.
Yeah, back to Glenn. Those are the longest pads I think I've ever seen a goalie wear.
Yeah, coming in at 6'5", 6'8" on skates. It's a massive, massive goaltender, but size isn't everything. As Keoka at the point gets it over to Stefan. Stefan looking down low to Walker. Now Walker looking for the tip out in front from Rue, and he got it, but just right up into the chest protector of Glenn. So a nice set play there with Rue posted up out in front.
Yeah, that was great communication by the Wildcats, being in the correct spot at the correct time for that play to make.
So Chad Berman, no hesitation about keeping his top power play unit out there for at least the first half of this power play with about 45 seconds gone on this one. Walker wins it back to Keoka, over to Stefan. Stefan with a shot, doesn't make it through on Glenn. Might have been looking for that tip out in front again as Keoka directs traffic from the point. So now down low, Hughes to Stefan. Keoka draws a man to him. Now Stefan, quick shot and a good pad save by Glenn, but a big rebound. Walker just not able to control that puck, but does get there first. Now Hughes over to Stefan with a quick shot and a diving block there.
I believe that was Olsen.
Or Quast. He's in a lot of pain trying to get up off the ice, and the refs will blow it dead. That might have just hit him in a nerve and completely gotten rid of the use of that leg, as I believe that's number 14, Ryan Quast. So he sells out for his team to get the block. He's going to need some help getting to the bench, but I'm sure he's going to get some stick taps once he gets there.
Yeah, that's what hockey is all about. You want to do anything and everything to prevent shots going to your goalie.
So Quast is going to get skated straight off the ice to get some medical attention, hopefully. Just a bit of a dead leg, just hits a nerve, hits a soft spot, kind of takes the leg out of commission, but a selfless diving block there by Quast to shut down the power play momentum with 38 seconds left to go on the 5-on-4 for the U of A. So Rossi not able to win that face-off. So ASU will just rifle it down. Gould behind the net.
30 seconds remaining here in the power play for the Wildcats.
So now Maloney, good little move there. Gets it up to Rossi. He tries to get it in deep. Not able to do so, and I think Rossi's going to go for a penalty here. It's
going to be a cross-checking penalty. So 2 minutes for the Wildcats. Back and forth penalties this first period.
Yeah, Tonjas at the line. Rossi gave him a pretty good check to the back of the shoulders, and that's going to be enough for the refs to waive that. Send Rossi to the box. So now in a 1-1 tied game, 20 seconds of 4-on-4, and then a minute 40 of power play time for ASU.
Yeah, so we're definitely seeing what both sides have for their power play and penalty kill.
Special teams on display here in the first half of the first period. Definitely, I would say the refs calling that cross-check on Rossi, if that kind of sets the tone for what's going to be the acceptable limit. Coach Berman said in the pregame interview, the fans love the rough stuff, but going into the national tournament, you don't want any DQs, you don't want any injuries. So it looks like it's going to be a high stick called here as another skate to the box. So hopefully the Zamboni is going to take an extra pass in front of the penalty boxes as now Gross heads to the box for a high stick.
Yeah, so this head ref is definitely seeing anything and everything on the ice that's going wrong.
So now we're going to get 4 seconds of 4-on-3, and then we'll get a minute 45 of 4-on-4, and then 15 seconds of power play. So
some quick math.
Not that impressive. So now, quick shot there. Probably a little bit sad that it took that long to figure it out in my head. It is right up on the board there, but so good opportunity there for ASU as they get the rush across the line, but shut down quickly. Definitely seeing the coaching strategies for special teams on display here, but Wildcats probably like to play this a little bit more 5-on-5, stay out of the box, stay disciplined, because on the power play is really where ASU is their most dangerous, especially with a guy like Robinson. Earlier in the season, it was a 6-on-5 when they had the extra man, a power play goal. With the extra man, ASU can be dangerous, but the Wildcats, they capitalized on their power play so far. ASU not able to. Quick shot there. Gould with a big rebound. That one just kind of popped out of the stomach of Gould. I think he thought he had it sealed, and it just came out into the blue paint.
Looks like the Sun Devils are trying to...
So a nice move there over the line is King. King with a quick shot. Gould not able to corral the rebound, but Kioka backhands that out of the zone. So now over to King, shadowed. Puck broken up there by Baird. So 32 seconds left on the 4-on-4 before a very, very brief 5-on-4 for the Wildcats. Walker, he'll chip it in and go after it against Olsen. Walker gets it back. Beautiful job there to pull the puck out of the pile. Now Baird up at the point. Maloney, the defenseman, roaming down low, activating on the 4-on-4. 12 seconds left on the 4-on-4.
The Wildcats are just not getting the bounces they want on these plays.
So now Walker with a nice job to elude Olsen. Walker thinks twice about the wraparound, decides to bring it out into the slot instead. So Rossi, he'll race off. The Wildcats will get a very, very short 6 seconds of power play time here, but if they can carry over that momentum to the 5-on-5, try to keep some of these tired ASU players hemmed in their zone, but no icing there just as the penalty expired.
And that was almost a too many men call there on the Wildcats.
They almost got caught changing there, but luckily for Chad Berman and for the rest of the Wildcats, no harm done. Now Shetland tries to bank it off the boards to Spring Rue, can't connect. Gould behind the net, gets it over to Shetland. And now Shetland, one of the graduating seniors, will be celebrating tomorrow. Tries to get it to Rue. Icing waved off on the play. So now this goes all the way back down. Gould was hoping that was going to go wide, ends up hitting the pads.
An amazing play by Shetland, breaking the ASU player off of him.
So a bad turnover there possibly gives ASU a chance, but Cooper Flynn does a good job to shut that down. Now a chance out in front, and they score. A defensive breakdown leads to Kylie Ram all alone out in front of the net. Holds it on the forehand, finishes it on the backhand. And just like that, ASU is going to take a 2-1 lead here.
Yeah, the Sun Devils are definitely capitalizing on Wildcats' mistakes.
And that's just it's a bit of a brutal turnover there, right in the most dangerous area of the ice. So I thought that was Ram who finished it off, but it looked like it was number 91, Carter Newland, who was first in line for the celebration. So just like that, after a lot of special teams play, 5-on-5, ASU causes the breakdown and just left all alone out in front with no chance.
It looks like the Wildcats are going on a timeout, trying to gain back their momentum that they were carrying on. So now it's going to be what I've been seeing from the Wildcats so far in this period is a lot of physicality, and they just need to keep it up with it, but they need to make sure they're careful not to pull any more penalties, as this head ref is calling quite a bit in this game. But Sun Devils doing a great job of zone possession in the Wildcat zone, so making sure that they're getting the passes across.
So sorry about that. Was just talking with our producer, trying to figure out what's going on with the game clock. Hopefully we'll be able to get that reset and on time. But with 7:09 left to go in the first period, Wildcats chasing this game. So it was Kylie Ram who got the goal for ASU. As I said, just left all alone out in front. No chance for Gould. Can the Wildcats take advantage of a turnover here as Walker tries to battle through two Sun Devils? Curley comes in, throws a shoulder in. Hughes does a good job to race to that buck first, gets it over to Kioka. Kioka throws a shot in, doesn't get through on Glenn. So now Jack Curley, Phillips for ASU trying to navigate the traffic. Good job there by Hughes to keep that in. Glenn comes out to play it under pressure, forced to quickly dish it off. Taking a hit to make a play was Ducharme. Stepping up at the line, Hodgson just not able to keep that puck in. Now Kioka tries to backhand it past Phillips, but nothing going as the Wildcats will get a couple fresh bodies and try to get some speed up through neutral ice. Good job by Rossi to get a stick on that to negate the icing.
And what I'm seeing from the Sun Devils is their breakout is very, very spread out. They're trying to get the Wildcats to not cover a man through the neutral zone so they can quickly rotate possession.
So now Erickson up to Baird. He works it across. Quick shot there, doesn't make it through. Good job by Gross to seal the skates and block that one. So once again, our apologies about the game clock. Sometimes the computer does not want to comply. Looks like we've got it all fixed up though. So with the Wildcats being outshot so far in this period, Definitely been a very back and forth period, but just that amount of penalties really creates a pretty disjointed feeling when you've got your different units going on and off the ice constantly throughout this first period. So now Rossi in to take the face-off against Gross. Gross waved out. So Robinson will come in.
I think this is the first time Berman can actually run the lines this first period.
Yes, it's been the first couple minutes of uninterrupted, no penalties.
Oh, don't jinx it.
I don't mind if ASU heads to the box again, but the Wildcats, especially chasing this game, need to make sure they stay disciplined, don't take any bad penalties. Now Erickson racing down the far boards. He gets dragged down. Rossi puts a body into his man.
So the intensity is definitely picking up in this shift.
And both of these teams, you know, the Wildcats, like I said, a little bit more certain in their fate when it comes to qualifying for the national tournament. But ASU playing for their tournament livelihoods, and they love coming down to Tucson and trying to play spoilers in this building. ASU will always play up to U of A. The most important games of the season for both of these clubs in a lot of ways outside of the national tournament. Just a rivalry that's got such a history. And even though the Cactus Cup is finished up, ASU playing for a lot of pride here, along with their playoff hopes or tournament hopes. So Cosden, he gets pressured down below the goal line by Kylie Ram. Now Josephson feeds it up. Hanrahan not able to bat it out of the zone. Big hit there along the boards as Flynn tried to take his man in before he gets to the puck. Blasted in past the blue line, but Gould gloves that, dishes it off. 4:16 left to go in what's been a very entertaining first period here at the Tucson Arena. Excited to run it back tomorrow, but a lot of great hockey to be played. Now Newland, he dishes it down low, and there's going to be a penalty here, so interference coming against ASU, and once again, the Wildcats are going to get an opportunity to go on the power play.
Yeah, some of these calls are pretty light.
Yeah, I think that, you know, it's kind of that moving pick, right? You see Kylie Ram try to cut across the zone, take away the lane for the defender. They collide, and the refs deem that, you know, the U of A player had the right to that ice. Ram did not have the right to, you know, take it away from him. So just like that, we'll go back to special teams once again. Wildcats with 4:04 left to go in the period will be on the power play. Walker back to Kioka. Now Stefan. Kioka. So the Wildcats will just slow it down here a little bit, work it low to high. So Hughes and Stefan switch out. Now Stefan looking for Rue out in front, just couldn't connect the pass. But Rue kind of playing that quasi-bumper position, posted up in front of the goalie and also right in the slot. Rue, couple beautiful moves to establish the zone. Now Stefan, he'll switch out with Kioka. Kioka tries to get a shot through, but a good stick in the lane. So now Stefan goes across to Walker, and he rings that off the pipe. As the Wildcats get the setup they were looking for, and the bar just says no to Dylan Walker, who set up that first power play goal by Kioka. Kept in for now. ASU battling to get it out, but the Wildcats do a good job in support to keep it in. Walker working with Hughes. Olsen gets there, rims it around, but Stefan seals off the far boards. Keeps it in the zone. Now Hughes over to Stefan. Would like to see him rip a shot. Kioka with a quick blast and his chance out in front. And somehow that just got poked wide as Glenn was down and out. And it just got put back across the crease.
Looks like that squeaked right behind his pad. Another great rebound opportunity.
So 27 seconds left to go with a turnover here and a quick shot. No rebound on that one.
You know, Wildcats saw a lot of success up on the top, working the puck around between the three top guys on the blue line.
Yeah, Walker, Kioka, and Stefan kind of playing the top of that umbrella, working it east-west, north-south, doing a good job to create lanes. That's how Kioka got that first one past Glenn. So now Shetland in and take the face-off, wins it cleanly back to Maloney. Now Maloney over to Shetland. Shetland dances, goes down low. They try for the pass out to Hanrahan. He gets another chance at it, and Glenn sprawling seals off the bottom of the net. So now Maloney
10 seconds remaining in the penalty.
Quick shot there with Rossi screening out in front. This one pops up and goes behind the net. So I think
that's going to be a cross-checking penalty on ASU, I believe.
So another player is going to take that skate to the box, like I said. So that'll be Wyatt Palmer for ASU heading to the box. It's going to be a well-trodden lane into those penalty box doors at the end of this period. So with 2:07 left to go, it'll be 4 seconds of 5-on-3. And then Kylie Ram will come flying out of the box, I'm sure. But to finish off this period, 2:07 left to go. 2 minutes of power play time. Wildcats down by 1 after the go-ahead goal from Kylie Ram. Now Keoka across to Walker. Walker, and then a tip, and they score! A beautiful drawn-up set play as Walker finds Hughes out in front, and just with a beautiful little redirect right through the 5-hole of Glenn.
And it looks like that penalty went off right when one of the Sun Devil players, the last penalty, was going out of the box, so it looks like it's going to be 5-on-5 hockey.
So an incredibly abbreviated 5-on-3. The Wildcats get the face-off win they needed. They send Hughes to the front of the net, and Walker, with his hands and ability to feather that puck in perfectly for the redirect. So there was 7 seconds left on that penalty kill to Kylie Ram. It must have just been at the absolute tail end of that. So ASU gets a little bit of a break here in terms of not having to go 5-on-4. So with 2:03 left to go, Wildcats have tied it up here at 2 in the first period on a great 2 power play goals for the Wildcats. So the special teams making ASU pay for their lack of discipline. So now Robinson, he fires it cross ice. Quickly onto it is Kylie Ram.
Scored at 17:57 by by number 9, Justin Hughes, assisted by number 16, Dylan Walker, and number 7, Nicholas Keoka. Again, that's number 9.
So Keoka and Walker with multiple points on the power play so far this afternoon. A great diving play there by Kylie Ram to get it away from Brian Erickson, as he's always tenacious on the forecheck. Olsen, he sees the hit from Rossi coming, so he wants to get rid of that puck quickly. Can the Wildcats transition? Erickson and Pizzo had to stop up to let Rossi exit the zone.
Great recognition not to get a offsides on that play.
So now with 1:04 left to go in the first period, Will Josephson putting on the forechecking pressure, causes the turnover to Slack. Slack tried to feed it back down low, just not able to connect. So now Robinson, he dishes it down low. Gross in a race there with Hodgson. Not quite sure what was called there. Might have been delayed offsides.
Yeah, it was delayed offsides there.
Yeah, because big fan of Hunter Hodgson, but there's no way he beat that puck out for an icing. So it'll be a delayed offsides here. It'll come back into the ASU zone with 51.6 left to go in the period. Will Josephson, definitely going to miss him when he graduates this year. Has been such a fantastic player on the ice and person off the ice, but he's going to look to finish his final 2 games against ASU in style here, as he scored some huge goals over the course of his career.
Yeah, and just an absolute weapon on penalty kill.
Yeah, him and Erickson have just been unreal so far throughout this season and last season. It's been so fun to watch them work as a unit. You know, Josephson had that long stretch of penalty killing with Connor Ziegler, and then Erickson stepped in seamlessly to help Josephson on that 2-man pair. Slack able to tag up if Josephson dishes it in deep. So now ASU maybe with one final chance at a rush. Robinson tries to get it up to King. They couldn't connect cleanly, so 8 seconds left to go. Wildcats maybe just want to look to pin this up against the boards, but ASU comes away with it. Now Robinson looking back door, and what a read by Stefan. The forward playing critical defense there, as Robinson had Palmer, I believe, back door wide open, but Stefan with his stick in between the legs seals that off.
Yeah, very, very scary play towards the end of that first period.
So a furious pace to the first period, a lot of penalties. Wildcats power play was fantastic, getting 2 with the man advantage, killing off a number of penalties. So we will head into the second period, all square at 2. Sebastian Janik with Garrett Kane. This is Wildcat Hockey.
Here with Tyler Shetland heading into the final 2 games of the regular season here at the Tucson Arena. Tyler, you're finishing up your time here at the University of Arizona. What has this program meant to you, not only as a player, but as a person during your time here?
These last 3 years have been completely unforgettable. I mean, as far as the way it shaped me as a person and, who I am today, and as far as the time I've had here and the people I've met, it's completely unforgettable. And, I'm super excited to finish up this last week.
Are there any, memories that you reflect on, any that really stand out over the course of your time here that you kind of take with you moving forward?
I think one that specifically stands out that's pretty funny was last season in Missouri State. We were out there, our bus broke down on the side of the road. It was a complete disaster. We could have chose to pack it in, fold, lose our energy, but, we played soccer and football on the side of the road for a couple hours, showed up a few minutes before the game, and ended up taking a win out of that weekend. And so, that as far as the, winning the 2 Cactus Cups here and, in front of our fans the last 2 seasons, I'll take that stuff away from me for the rest of my life.
Moving into these final games against ASU, how special is it to finish up your time here, with these rivalry games, evening games here at the Tucson Arena against ASU?
It's so special. I mean, these games are just, the atmosphere of it, they're completely uncomparable to a lot of other scenes, even in college hockey alone. And, it's been such a privilege to play in front of these fans for the last 3 years and in these big games, and I'm super excited to see what we bring on Thursday and Friday.
You and Will, 2 guys who are graduating, 2 of the guys who are wearing the A this season. How do you kind of feel like, do you think you've left something behind legacy-wise for the next leaders to kind of build off of going forward?
I would hope so. I think as far as, Will and I go as leaders, we love to have fun, but we also love to win. So if there's anything that the guys can take away from us, it's that, winning is fun and, then have as much fun as you can. You're going to get the best results.
Alrighty, welcome back, Wildcat fans, as we get set to drop the puck on the second period after an incredibly entertaining first that saw a lot of penalties. Wildcats were able to score 2 power play goals, but ASU got 2 back, 5-on-5s. We will head into the second all tied up. Joined in the booth this period by Rosemary Stewart. Glad to have you back on the mic.
Glad to be here, Sebastian.
So a very exciting second period in the works here. After an incredibly good back and forth battle, not a lot of 5-on-5 time as the teams traded penalties. A couple of them were a little bit ticky-tacky as the refs most likely just trying to keep a lid on this game, as games between U of A and ASU can escalate quite quickly. But a fantastic evening atmosphere on a Thursday here at the Tucson Arena. We'll be back to do it again tomorrow, Friday night, final home game of the season. So thank you so much for everyone for joining us on the broadcast. We'd love to see you down here in person if you can make it for the final home game tomorrow. Also, final home game for the women's program at 1 p.m. against ASU. So 4 U of A ASU matchups in 2 days, with the women falling to ASU earlier today, 6-1, but the men's program trying to get some revenge against the Sun Devils here, and ASU playing for their tournament lives as Maloney gets it over to Rue. Rue with a quick shot. Shetland trying to jump out of the way of that one. Stefan just not able to wrap that puck around as he was sealed off by Tonjas. So now quickly up to King. He just kicks it deep into the zone. Gould back to play it. Good active stick. Rims it all the way out of the zone.
Arizona State's come out this period playing super fast. I mean, in previous matchups, we've seen them really show off the skates, rocket around, but they've really turned on the gas for this period. They did not look this fast 20 minutes ago.
Now, the ASU definitely wants to try to keep playing with a lead, knowing that it's the safest place to be for them if they can take the momentum out of the building. Like I said in the first period, ASU loves to come into this building, play spoilers, make it so everyone at the TCC has a bad evening. But the Wildcats, already Cactus Cup champions this year, more than capable of taking down this ASU group. And hopefully we'll see a little bit more 5-on-5 rhythm here in the second period after just a lot of back and forth penalty calls kind of disrupting any real solid flow. But just unopposed across the line is Marchant as he ripped one high and wide. Wildcats are going to want to step up at the blue line, not allow that much room. So now Hodgson, the defenseman leading the rush, drops it back. Walker lets it go to Hughes. Now to Walker. The playmaking man himself. Chance out in front. Puck still loose. They jam at it and they score! On the backdoor third effort, Jack Curley comes into the zone and the Wildcats finish off their first offensive opportunity of the period. Just a fantastic effort by Hodgson to get the rush going. And then Curley, Hughes, and Walker go to work. Definitely not a highlight reel goal by any means, but just banging away at the goal line. Rebound that Glenn can't control. And the Wildcats have taken a 3-2 lead here early in the second period. In this building, Wildcats, the same way the ASU wants to quiet this crowd, U of A needs to try to thrive off the energy in this building. Such a unique experience for the ACHA to play in a building like this, and especially on the Thursday or Friday night game, you get a great crowd in here, the pep band. There's nothing better in terms of Tucson sports, and for rivalry hockey, U of A versus ASU never disappoints.
This is a huge barn, and I mean, it is nowhere near full, but the energy in here just fills up the entire arena. It gets so loud, so energetic when a goal happens. It's like the room is on fire. Just so many people standing up out of their seats. They really make it feel like a sold-out crowd.
And hopefully the Wildcats can get back to those days of the late 90s, early 2000s of fully selling out this building. But when you've got a building that seats almost 6,000 people, it's a little bit hard to fill up. But to see a crowd like this out on a Thursday evening, it's just fantastic to see for the U of A community supporting this team, especially with senior night tomorrow on a Friday night. But Erickson, he'll chase it on the forecheck. Olsen not able to control it with Erickson just buzzing around, causing havoc for ASU, and that forces them to get it all the way down. Gould, nice active stick, finds Baird, gets it quickly across to Erickson. just kind of let that puck go through him. ASU not able to pick up possession. 17:08 left to go in the second period. Maloney pressed up against the boards, but strong on his skates, keeps possession. Now feeds it up to Slack. He stays up. Almost got taken down at the blue line, but Josephson now in deep. He gets pressured as the Wildcats kind of de facto third line tries to establish some of the forecheck. Hanrahan just not able to kick that one to the stick. So now Hanrahan, he gets buried from behind at the red line. That causes the turnover. It's Palmer. Tonjas not able to get it cleanly out of the zone. Nice little move there at the red line to create some space. Dished in on Glenn, and he'll take the glove and the face-off.
This line right here just plays so scrappy. I mean, you put your third line guys out there, you're not expecting them to go out there and score a million. They know what they're out there to do. They're out there to stunt ASU as much as possible, get good looks in, and kind of create some intensity out there, and they've done a great job of that so far.
That's always been a key to Will Josephson's game. One of the players on that line, graduating senior. Hodgson not able to control it. Luckily, Kioka back to pick up that puck. Doesn't allow an odd man rush. That one thrown all the way down the ice. No icing here as Stefan chases down Marchand. Now ASU just content to get out of the zone. King with a nice little touch pass over to Gross. Gross with a good burst of speed. Throws it to the middle but couldn't connect with Robinson, as Gross was looking to find him all alone out in front. Now King with a good diving block by Hunter Hodgson. Kioka reads the play and now feeds Stefan. Stefan, nice move in and out to beat his first man. Olsen with layers, but the Wildcats able to change out a couple bodies. So up to King. He's not able to control it, but gets a touch on it. Cosden turns it right over to Gross. Gross behind the net, runs into a sandwich of two U of A players. But that one squeaks over the blue line, and ASU will have to set up. So with 15:23 left to go in the second, Wildcats up by one on the go-ahead goal from Jack Curley. As ASU touches it into the zone, Walker tries to feather a pass through to Curley and gets it there. Now Jack Curley in. A great back check prevented that shot from getting away as Marchand raced back into the play and lifts the stick of Curley before he can get a shot off.
I mean, both ends of the ice for both of these teams have really each had spectacular plays. We've seen some really nice saves tonight. I mean, just moments ago, we saw Hunter Hodgson's diving block on that shot, and then of course we've seen those offensive theatrics. It really feels like both U of A and ASU are playing full ice games. They're not really allowing super high danger chances from their opponents. They're both forcing each other to outskill their opponents.
So Cosden, he throws that one wide. Walker goes for a skate, quick shot. Glenn sees it the whole way and gloves that one down. So the Wildcats and ASU, they've both got graduating seniors on these programs. They know what these final games of their ACHA careers mean to their teammates. So you got to think the final games of the season, players are even that more locked in. And the Wildcats have been up to the test so far against ASU, but we've seen ASU have a couple big comeback games over the course of the years here, but Wildcats, if they stick to their systems and do what they need to do, can come away with a win here on a Thursday evening. And obviously looking to tomorrow for the final matchup against ASU, and then on to the national tournament. We'll see where the Wildcats end up in the rankings, but most likely playing a play-in game at the national tournament to secure their spot. Wildcats would love to get one win at the national tournament, as it's been a little while for them, but right now the focus is all on the ASU. Hughes with a nice little pass there to keep possession. Battle along the boards. Maloney, the defenseman, coming down in deep. Curley turns that one over to Kylie Ram as he read that the whole way. So now a chance for ASU to break it over the line. Quick little move there to the outside. They feed it back to the slot, and Gould with a huge save on Cameron, as ASU got the exact setup they were looking for, but Gould square to the shot. But now maybe a chance for ASU with numbers. Kylie Ram with a quick shot, and that one just gets ripped high. So Kylie Ram with a great release on that wrist shot, just elevated it too much and threw it over the top of the net. It's now a four-man battle down low. ASU comes away with it, backhands it through the slot. Pizzo puts the shoulder into his man. Now Olsen with a quick shot, never got through as Eriksson got in the lane. So now Quast, 14, good to see him back on the ice after he blocked a shot, but now a 3-on-2 back the other way. Michael Pizzo, bit of miscommunication there between Kioka and Pizzo as they just kind of get tangled up coming over the blue line. So a bit of a wasted opportunity there, but considering Kioka has a goal and a point, we'll give him a pass on that one. And I just think Pizzo wanted to cut middle as Kioka was trying to drive middle. They just kind of end up a little bit of Keystone Cops at the blue line, and play gets blown dead.
You have to give Kioka some credit. It's not often that, I know he's an offensive-minded D-man, but it's not very often you get to be in that 3-on-2 breakaway situation.
So now Marchand feeds it across. Quast just content to kick that out of the zone. Jacob Cosden throws it down low. Wildcats trying to get it on the forecheck. Just forces ASU to go with the high lob. Nice little bit of composure there by Flynn to settle that puck and get it in deep. Hanrahan all over his man. Two ASU players collide behind the net. Bit of a cross-check there to the numbers, but nothing coming from the refs. This one comes all the way in on Gould. He elects to play it over to Cosden. He was trying to spring the outlet man, and Stefan just not able to connect. So now Eddie Slack. Will Josephson. Bit of an errant pass there, but hopefully the Wildcats can get away with it as Josephson not sure who he was looking for. He just kind of threw it into a dead area. Now Flynn gets it across. Can they spring Stefan here? The puck was just out in front of him. So Glenn content to glove that and get the face-off. So Wyatt Stefan, who has been one of, by far, the most productive offensive players lately, almost gets sprung on that bank pass off the boards, but just too far out in front. And he gave Glenn a little bit of a snow shower, so we'll see how ASU takes that. Offensive zone face-off with 12:28 left to go in the second period. Wildcats up by 1 on the go-ahead goal from Jack Curley. As Rue in to take the face-off against Gross. So Rue out there with Stefan and Shetland. Now Maloney with a quick shot from the point. A lot of traffic, but gets knocked down. Trying to spring Robinson on the cherry-picking breakaway. Couldn't connect, but now King gets to it. Rings that off the post as Gould was a little bit slow to get back into his net. Now King tried to throw it to the middle. Baird was in the way, and that gets deflected up into the netting.
Hayden Gould, I won't say he let up a dangerous chance there, but he very much likes to play the puck forward, go in, challenge those angles, challenge the shooter, force them to make a bad decision before they can wear you down. Almost caught out of position there, but was able to skate back in place, seal the net before there was any real dangerous opportunity.
Yeah, I do believe even if that puck was directly on net, Gould just got back right in time.
He's
but
quick.
King was wide-eyed looking at that open net, but... And now a chance for Shetland. Shetland in, quick shot. Glenn with a save, but a big rebound as Rue was driving the net. He gets put into Glenn. A big contact there as Rue goes crashing into Glenn in the blue paint. But from what I saw, Rue didn't really have much of an opportunity to get out of the way as he was driving the net, kind of pushed into that lane. I got a feeling that both players are going to be going here because Rue really had nowhere to go. So it will be Rue and Gross both heading to the box. Good to see Glenn pop right back up after taking that hard hit, and the mask comes off. So it's going to be goaltender interference on Rue and interference on Gross. So we'll get some more 4-on-4 time here as the penalty minutes continue to rack up.
Really scary moment there. You said it. It's really nice to see Nate Glenn just pop up right after that. It's not very often you see the goalie mask go flying off like that. It's super scary. I mean, from up here in the booth, there's only so much you can see. You're worried for the guy, but it's great to see him pop right back up. Looks like he'll stay in the game.
Yeah, no worse for wear there. I think the collision looked a little bit worse than it really was, as Rue did stop up his momentum, trying to stop up before the blue paint to get a shot away more so than protect Glenn. But we'll give Rue the benefit of the doubt and to say that he was being a nice guy. But good on the refs for taking both. I do think maybe Rue would have had an opportunity possibly to get out of the way, but Gross impeded that. But when a player goes into the goalie like that, most likely a penalty is coming. So just like that, we're back to 4-on-4 hockey as Palmer will circle back for ASU in the zone, gets it over to King. So now Robinson, he'll wind it up through the neutral zone with speed. King racing down the wing, gets there first. King feeds it up to the top of the point. A lot of time and space for Palmer, but he couldn't handle the puck as ASU was close to getting the exact setup they wanted. So now King gets it into the zone. A little bit of miscommunication here between Maloney and Baird, but Gould comes to bail out his defenseman and just push that puck into a dead area. Robinson on the forecheck, causing a little bit of trouble. 11:10 left to go in the second period. Another minute 10 of 4-on-4 hockey here. As now the Wildcats, they look to set things up with a little bit of extra open ice. It's Dylan Walker working with his best friend on and off the ice, and Justin Hughes. Guys grew up playing together, have a great relationship and great chemistry on the ice. Pressure there by Walker, almost strips the puck from Marchand, and two ASU players collide as Kylie Ram gets buried by his own player. The Wildcats a little bit of a benefit there, and now Dylan Walker in all alone. Walker in, waits, backhand, scores! Dylan Walker with the patience of a monk waits Glenn out the whole way. Forehand, backhand through the 5-hole, and Dylan Walker showing off the hands. Makes no mistake with that much open ice, and what a beautiful goal by Dylan Walker.
Just straight highlight reel material. He waited all day to fire that. Just kept waiting, going forehand, backhand, waiting for Glenn, waiting for any sign of weakness. He saw that 5-hole and so nonchalant pokes it in. Wildcats score.
Scored by number 16, Dylan Walker, at 9:34 unassisted. Again, that's number 16, Dylan Walker.
So the leading point getter for the Wildcats continues to rack them up. He's got at least one assist and a goal now in this game. So Dylan Walker, actually he's 2 assists on the power play and a goal now. So Dylan Walker having himself a night. But just, Dylan Walker took a look over his shoulder. I think he was almost surprised at how much open space he had. But just so glad to see Walker not try to get too fancy with it, not wait for another 2 guys to come join the rush with, kind of that drop pass. He just knows what he can do, especially with that much time and space, and just makes no mistake, gets Glenn to bite going one way, and just slips it 5-hole. Such a silky, beautiful goal by Dylan Walker. And now the Wildcats with a 2-goal lead here in the second period.
He's a guy that plays with just so much offensive confidence. I mean, he creates so much space on offense. He's always looking for lanes and passing and electing to dangle and beat his man instead of passing across. And I feel like that's one he'll be seeing in his dreams for a while, a chance that open and just being able to execute.
Basically looked like a shootout style goal more so than a 4-on-4, but that's that thing about that extra ice. You get the couple extra forwards committing down low, and a turnover like that can happen. But now a chance for ASU as they had numbers coming over the blue line, but that puck never makes it in on Gould. Now a quick shot from the point. That one also gets blocked. So the Wildcats doing a great job there as Cooper Flynn gets in the lane, takes away the shot opportunity. As ASU tries to get the long pass. And that'll go all the way down for icing as Gould will finally get his stick back after it was dislodged. And Dylan Walker, just such slick hands. You see it throughout his entire tenure here at the University of Arizona. Sometimes that confidence can get him in trouble at times where he tries the extra move. But Walker there, that's exactly why you have a kid like that, and that's why you put so much trust in him to score goals. What a moment for him as he gets the 2-goal lead going for the Wildcats here on a Thursday evening against ASU. Whenever I walk out on that ice during practice and look up at the stands, it's always kind of hard to imagine just what it would feel like scoring a goal with fans in the building, the sounds, the noise, the excitement. it's a great experience for these players at the U of A to play in this building, and definitely great to see so many fans back out here after a number of 1 p.m. games that can be pretty hard for people to make during the week especially. So Thursday night and then tomorrow, hopefully get an even bigger crowd out for senior night, celebrate Will Josephson and Tyler Shetland graduating the right way. But right now it's 28 minutes of hockey to focus on as Erickson crashes in down low with Marchant. And ASU just trying to fling it out of the zone. They're trying to stretch out the ice with that dump and chase play, but the Wildcats have just really shut things down going through the neutral zone, not allowed any easy outs for ASU, as you can see there. Just forces Phillips to push it down the boards, but a great play by him to maintain possession after what looked like a little bit of a nothing play, but Phillips just powers his way down the boards. And now the Wildcats trying to go back in transition, shoveled up into the stands. Hopefully that fan who is very enthusiastic to grab the puck is doing all right. So with 7:37 left to go in the second period, Wildcats with a 2-goal lead after scoring twice here in the second period. So we'll get the media timeout here. Definitely an incredible pace to this game this evening. A lot of whistles and a lot of stoppages in terms of the penalties, but overall a lot of quality hockey. Not a lot of icings especially. That's been one thing that the Wildcats have had a little bit of trouble with, is when they get kind of trapped in their own zone, they tend to play that dump and chase a little bit too much and just keep forcing icings. But a very different message from Chad Berman here. And in the pregame, Chad Berman mentioned that he believes these are the most important games U of A and ASU have played in years, just in terms of where ASU is in the standings, where the U of A is in the standings. I'll never get tired of watching Hayden Gould's whistle little ritual that he does. He never skates back over to the bench, never goes and joins in with the group. He doesn't need to know what the forwards and the defense are going to do. All he's worried about is his crease and his net. So he likes to hang out back there, get a stretch in, keep himself locked in. Hayden Gould has just been a fantastic addition to this program. An incredible player on the ice, great guy off the ice. Very excited to see what he does here during his time as a Wildcat. And now Hanrahan tries to feed it down the boards, can't get past the roadblock of the ref, as that one's dumped in deep. Gould signaling for the icing, and once again this will come back into the ASU zone. And especially with Stevenson, the backup being injured, TJ DeMillionaire, definitely a fantastic goalie in his own right, but Gould has had a lot of workload so far this season. He's been up to the task every time. And sometimes that's all you need going into the national tournament, is to get a goaltender to get hot, and kind of ride that wave. The Wildcats giving him the offensive support he needs today. The 4-2 lead in the second, as the Wildcats have really kind of pushed the offensive flow here. Now Hanrahan skates onto a quick shot, and Glenn pads that into the corner. Great second effort by Hanrahan to get to that puck and get a shot away, as now he flushes Franklin out from behind the net, as ASU trying to find a way out as U of A changes players. That one sticked up high, stays on the ice surface. So now Kioka on a pair with Hodgson. Hodgson feeds it up, tap down low, and Glenn just decides to glove that one and get another offensive zone face-off. So definitely the Wildcats have been able to grind down ASU's kind of offensive strategy. They've been just content to try to bobble pucks up through the neutral zone, lob pucks into the U of A zone. That's created a number of icings. And just the Wildcats with a lot of offensive zone time here in the second period has led to that 4-2 lead.
Then on the other end, when ASU manages to get into that O-zone, it really looks like Arizona's defense has totally figured them out. Earlier I saw Baird skate back, just looking for the passing lane, trusted Gould, let him block the shot, and it worked perfectly. There was no pass able to be made. Forced, I believe it was Gross to take a bad shot. They've been working to perfection.
So Flynn gets that puck first. Flynn and Cosden out there as the defensive pair. Cosden with a risky turnover there, but a good support stick from the forward to break that up. Rue with a nice little move, drags it past Kylie Ram. So now Rue will break it out. Pass over to Shetland in stride. Shetland back down to Stefan. Stefan with a quick backhand shot in on Glenn as Rue gets in there and mixes it up. And 3 Sun Devils will come over there, and now the Wildcats will get in support of Rue. I don't think he really minds mixing things up if he can draw the attention of 3 separate ASU players. So we'll see what the refs decide to do with this, if anything at all. As Rue got into the blue paint after the whistle, ASU certainly didn't like that. So we'll see what the response is here. Doesn't look like either of the penalty box doors are open, so the refs are going to let them play, but I'm sure a little bit of a discussion of trying to keep that stuff to a minimum. So now the Wildcats with another offensive zone draw. Gross in to take the face-off against Hughes. 6:04 left to go in the second period. Hughes able to win it over to Walker. Now Dylan Walker. Beautiful little move through the skates. Tried to go back down low to Stefan, but just puck, or actually Jack Curley, who was down below the goal line, and that puck just kind of slid off the blade of Walker. But once again, Walker's ability to just slow everything down, draw eyes and bodies to him, create scoring opportunities. So now quickly over to Maloney. That puck's in between his skates, so he couldn't control it. Takes a hit to make the play. So the Wildcats not able to set up zone time, but also not giving ASU an easy out, as Maloney with the reach skates in and beats out the icing as he takes a little pop there from King. Maloney, absolutely not a weak customer himself, a big body, came over during the winter break, really solidified that defensive core for the Wildcats when they were down some bodies from injury. So Maloney stepped in when he was most needed, and him and Stefan have been huge additions to this Wildcat roster. As now Hughes not able to win that one cleanly, but a battle for the puck. Gross gets there first. Curley at the side of the net, forcing at it. Walker, and he scores! Dylan Walker waits out Glenn to the final second once again, elevates the puck, and the Wildcats have a 5-2 lead out of what looked like an absolute nothing play. But Dylan Walker with the magic hand finishes it off.
Just a phenomenal goal right there from Walker. We talk about, his offensive IQ, being able to make space and see lanes as they develop, and I'm sure nobody else saw a chance on that play. Walker sees it, he goes for it, and it's effortless for him.
Just the way that he's able to pull that puck in between his skates, get enough leverage on it to elevate it past Glenn.
Arizona Wildcats for his second goal of the game, unassisted, number 16, Dylan Walker at 14:27. That's number 16, Dylan Walker.
So Walker credited as unassisted on that goal. Might have gotten through Curley on the way over to Walker, but either way, Dylan Walker having himself an evening here at the Tucson Arena. I'm sure Will Josephson and Tyler Shetland are happy to have Walker wearing that Arizona sweater right now, making these final 2 games of the Tucson Arena that much more sweet if the Wildcats are able to continue playing this way with a 5-2 lead in the third. ASU, a team that has a little bit of a reputation of, you kind of start to beat them down a bit early. They might lose that willpower, that kind of fight that you need. But then again, could go the opposite way with a quick shot there, and that one rifled just wide. As maybe ASU will make me eat my words there and actually respond in a much different manner. Well, that wrist shot was absolutely labeled and just went wide.
You can never really count out the Sun Devils. Arizona learned that the hard way a few games into the Cactus Cup.
Yeah, you certainly do not want to take this group lightly, as they're most fun they can hope for. But now Swiger with a chance and Glenn with a good save. Probably if you ask these ASU players what the highlight of the season is or could be, it's beating the U of A on home ice in this building. But the Wildcats not giving them the opportunity to so far. That puck, though, almost got turned over, but Olsen, some long strides over the blue line. They drop it back there. So now a quick shot in. Gould with a good save, following up, just fanning on the back rebound opportunity. There's a lot of chaos going on behind the play as see a number of guys coming up off the ice. Not exactly sure what happened there. Now ASU, I got a feeling they're going to be looking to spring guys as much as they possibly can. I would look for Robinson to be cherry picking up at that blue line a good bit as he's their trigger man. But the Wildcats found their own trigger man tonight in Dylan Walker, as he has just been fantastic, setting up goals on the power play and then scoring 2 beauties of his own. So with 3:24 left to go in the second period, Wildcats up 5-2 against ASU. And now Maloney skates it into the slot, waits, but a good block there by Kylie Ram. Shetland gets to it first, trying to work against Olsen, and Kylie Ram quickly touched out into the slot, and a great pad save there on Stefan. So this line has looked really dangerous, with Rue especially just creating a lot of opportunities, looking for that play out in the slot. So Rue, kind of that really strong two-way center down the middle with 2 speedy wingers in Stefan and Shetland. Rue able to find that one back to the point. Now Maloney with a shot, looking for the tip out in front from Walker. Just couldn't connect. Baird reads the play well and comes over to seal that off. So now Stefan trying to touch it through. Gets it to Walker, over to Rue. Rue tries to go to the backhand and can't finish off the play as Glenn dives out to hold on to that one, with the Wildcats once again putting on a lot of pressure. Walker, he's on hat trick watch officially. So interested to see if the Wildcats try to feed him some pucks up by 3. No one wants to turn down scoring opportunities, but when you've got a line mate who's 1 goal off from a hat trick, might try to make that extra
You'll pass
pass.
it over.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially to a guy who scored 3 points in just 15 minutes. He has been a part of every single goal that has separated Arizona from ASU in this game.
Walker has been fantastic so far this evening. Not quite sure what the refs are trying to figure out here. There wasn't a whole lot going on, but number 91, so Carter Newland, taking a skate down the tunnel. Not quite sure what happened there. Maybe just an equipment issue. ASU not shorthanded, so no penalty, so no idea what happened with Newland. But now the Wildcats with 2:28 left to go, looking to finish off the second period strong. Walker with another beautiful move.
10 minutes for misconduct. That puts your Wildcats on a...
So Newland goes 10 minutes for a misconduct, but we stay 5-on-5. So gonna have to ask for some clarification from Tanner Harris after the game. Maybe it was Newland saying something to the ref, and that's what drew the misconduct. A hard hit there against Curley, but he luckily pops right back up. Quick shot there, and Gould, no rebound allowed as King threw that into the chest protector. So the Wildcats and ASU will stay 5-on-5, even though Carter Newland goes for a 10-minute misconduct. You know, I've got Garrett Kane still up in the booth. I'm guessing that would probably be something, just saying something to the ref that they didn't like, so they're not going to get a penalty out of it. But yeah, so Garrett agreeing that most likely just a little bit too many words to the referee, and they decide to sit him. So the Wildcats, with 1:51 left to go in the second, can really take all the momentum and speed. Great hit there by Ari Rossi, absolutely buries his man along the board. So the Wildcats, even though up by 3, not going to let up on the physical play. As the only thing that gets you more cheers against ASU than scoring a goal is laying a hit. Sometimes it's even louder. So Gross will just touch that one into the zone. Be interested to see what the body language of ASU is like here finishing up the third period. That one, Erickson never saw the pass coming, so it heads all the way down for an icing. There's 1:17 left. ASU will get another offensive zone draw. And earlier in the season, ASU was able to score 2 goals with the goalie pulled in the dying minute to tie the game. So ASU never quite out of it. The more the U of A can pad this lead, the happier they'll be heading into the third and possibly into tomorrow's game. But now a face-off won here by ASU. Good little job there by Franklin to wait out the man in the lane, create a bit of opportunity. Now Franklin once again, touch pass back to Olsen. Olsen tries to feather that one, but too heavy-handed on that as it flutters out of the zone. Olsen now with Pizzo shadowing him. Pizzo gets a little bit on it and breaks it up. Baird skating back to it. Maloney rings it around. Baird trying to put his man into the boards there. Now a chance in the slot, a quick shot, and that one hit Baird. Erickson fighting to get that puck out, and now Pizzo over the line. Pizzo takes a shot, that never got through. 26 seconds left to go as Erickson gets crunched into the boards. Puck comes out, 20 seconds left, one final rush for ASU, but the pass is too far forward. And the U of A will just throw that one back into the ASU zone, no icing. 9 seconds left to go in the period. So I think ASU is just going to wait this last 5 seconds out. Down by 3 heading into the third. A fantastic evening of hockey so far for the U of A Wildcats. They gave up 2 goals in the first period, but since then it's been all Wildcats and it's been all Dylan Walker here this evening. So Sebastian Janik with Rosemary Stewart. We'll be back to bring you the third period in just a little bit. Thank you for joining us on the live stream. This is Wildcat Hockey.
Here with Will Josephson, you're finishing up your time here at the U of A, moving into these final ASU games of the season. What has it meant to you to play for this program, and how do you feel like you've grown not only as a person, but as a player over the course of your time here?
It's meant a lot. It's meant everything, really. I came in at 20 years old as a freshman, and I'd say these past 4 years I've really matured on and off the ice. And, it's meant a lot just being from Arizona, coming to all these games. My parents have been to probably 90% of the home games and the ASU games, the GCU game local. So that's been really special to me, and one thing I'll never forget.
Looking back at your time here, are there any memories or moments that really stand out to you that you'll take with you moving forward?
Yeah, countless memories have been made every year, honestly, but some general things I would say is my favorite parts would always be coming in at the beginning of the year, meeting all the new guys, seeing guys that you haven't seen all summer. And then another thing would be this past year winning the Cactus Cup in front of the alumni. It was really cool for that. Just every year you get to know the alumni more and more. And so kind of winning the way we did at that second ASU game was really special, winning in front of all of our alumni.
A special way to finish up the season here, 2 evening games against ASU. How would you kind of, as an Arizona kid, growing up here, how would you kind of describe that rivalry for someone who maybe doesn't know, or, a player coming into this program in the future?
Yeah, they're the best games to play in here, so it's awesome to end my time here with ASU. Those games, if you've ever been to a U of A hockey game, those games are just different here. Like, there's maybe double, triple the people, it's double, twice as loud. It's by far the best games to play here, and we're really excited.
You were fortunate enough to learn under some of the great leaders from this program, Anthony Cusinelli, Jesse Lowell. How do you feel like your time here, in a leadership role can maybe help move the program forward with some of the next guys stepping into those shoes?
Yeah, I learned a lot that first year from Cusinelli. He's 5 years older than me, so coming in, I really looked up to him. We had a lot of guys on that team, though. Bivo, Churro, Josie, Hole, all those older guys really taught me a lot. And then going for those next 2 years after that, having Jesse, I live with Jesse also. So he really helped me mature. I feel like kind of away from the rink, around the house, stuff like that. And then at the rink, just how professional he was, how just he took everybody in. He was nice to everybody. He treated everybody the same. So I learned a lot from Jesse, and I'm thankful for that. And hopefully I took enough from those guys that I can pass it down to some of the guys that were around this year.
Welcome back, Wildcat fans, as we get set to drop the puck here on the third and final period on this Thursday evening matchup between ASU and U of A. U of A bringing in a 3-goal lead into the third period after Dylan Walker has just completely taken over this game. 4 points on the night. So he's doing his best to send off Tyler Shetland and Will Josephson. Send them off the right way on home ice as they are the two graduating seniors. As all eyes are glued to this game, definitely in the intermission, all eyes glued on the Four Nations tournament. So we're going to try to keep an eye on both just before this period starts. But for the U of A versus ASU is the closest thing we get to best on best here, and always produces the best spectacle for U of A hockey here on home ice when ASU comes to town. Fantastic crowd on this Thursday evening. Excited to see what the building is like tomorrow on Friday night. With the Wildcats with a lot to play for. National tournament rankings. Final 2 games on home ice of the season. Final games for Shetland and Josephson, 2 guys who are very well liked and well respected in the locker room. But ASU, they're not going to go down without a fight. They're also fighting for their spot in the national tournament. And down 3 goals in the third, got a feeling there's going to be some desperate hockey coming out of that Sun Devils group.
And the Wildcats did a great job last period, really maintaining possession of the puck in the Sun Devils zone on those long changes. Second period is always infamous for those long changes and getting stuck on the ice. So Sun Devils are definitely feeling their legs a little bit here in the third period. We'll see how this turns out.
Yeah, the Wildcats certainly have had a lot more jump in their game, been winning 50-50 puck battles, getting to pucks first, outworking their opponent here. So now we get the puck dropped on the third period. And the Wildcats will look to keep that pressure up on ASU. 3-goal leads great, 4-goal leads better. So now as the U of A chants ring out here at the Tucson Arena. Little move there as King tries to bring it in. Now a chance from the slot and they score. And just like that, on the first shot of the period, King fights over the line. And Gross absolutely picks the top corner, beats Gould over the shoulder. No real chance for Gould in that tight.
John Baird just trying to cover too many men in the defensive zone for the Wildcats, and it just went to the back of the net.
So the top line for ASU comes out to start the period, and 22 seconds in, they get one back. So just like that, it's a 2-goal lead. As I said, a 4-goal lead would be better, but getting that 3-goal lead back now is the main objective, as the Wildcats probably a little bit stunned after they really dominated the offensive play for most of that second period. And then just kind of out of nowhere in the third, ASU comes out on the first shift and scores. So Wildcats with some work to do to settle things down. And now another chance here. King almost was in all alone with Gross once again, as Hodgson not able to win that battle. But now Robinson dishes it behind the back, calling for the puck back. A chance out in front, but Hughes in the way. Another chance that Gould can't cover as the ASU body is in the way. That one, Gould looks behind him, dives to seal it off, and another blocker save as Gould, just scrambling from his stomach, somehow kept that puck out.
And Hayden Gould just standing on his head on that play, shot after shot.
Hayden Gould's neck on a swivel there, just looking every which way, trying to find the puck. And somehow on that final opportunity, popped the blocker up.
And the Sun Devils really changing their offensive strategy, really rushing through the neutral zone to gain possession in their offensive zone.
Well, only a minute and 3 seconds into this third period, and ASU has already made this look like much more of a game than it did before the start of the period. After scoring an early goal and a couple good chances, that shot from the point gets paddled aside. Hodgson trying to win it, Hughes in support, and now the Wildcats are able to break it out of the zone. So not sure what the message was to the Sun Devils in the locker room, but coming out in the third period, they look much more confident than they did at the end of the second as they turn that puck over, and now Kylie Ram gets around Chioka, but then can't get around Walker. Gonna have to have it out after Chioka let me call him by the wrong name for a couple years here, but Luckily, his family corrected us, and make sure to get that bad pronunciation out of my head as the Wildcats try to settle things down now a little bit. Force the plays through the neutral zone. Good body there by Rossi and Erickson with a little bit of time and space over the blue line. Marchant shoves Erickson down. Rossi comes in support, tries to force it down the wall. Pizzo there as well. Pizzo puts it into Marchant, and that gives ASU a little bit of space to break it out. Backhand through the middle of the ice. ASU has to touch up to not be offsides. Pizzo taken down, no call on the play. So now Phillips. Pizzo reads that, gets to it first, gains the red line, fires it in deep. Good job there by Pizzo to make sure that he got that red line so it wasn't an icing call.
And a very different level of energy here in the third period for both teams.
ASU has really picked up their game, knowing what they have to play for here. ASU player down the ice might have taken an awkward stick from Josephson accidentally. As I saw Josephson's stick come up just a little bit.
And what I'm seeing in the past 3 minutes of this third period, there's been a lot of rapid line changes to keep this pace of the game going.
So the Wildcats going to have to step up their intensity, as certainly the ASU has cutting that goal lead down immediately to start the third period and applying some pressure, but now the Wildcats with an opportunity in the offensive zone. Josephson in to take the face-off. So Josephson does a good job to win that back. Quick shot, and Glenn has to seal the 5-hole as Slack got a quick shot away. Josephson turns along the boards in a battle there with Franklin. Josephson able to just use that strong skating ability to hold that puck in the zone as Slack. Now he comes in support, staples his man to the boards. Puck comes free, though, to Olsen. As the captain of the Sun Devils finds his defensive partner, and they're just content to lob it back out of the zone. Baird quick up to Hannerhan. Gets it over to Josephson. Now Will Josephson drops to Hannerhan. Smart move there by Hannerhan to know the lane was closing down, so he just kind of wands one into the corner.
The Wildcats aren't having very much success with the board battles in the Sun Devils zone pretty much the whole game.
So now Hannerhan tied up along the boards. Puck comes free to Hannerhan, though, as he tries to take it to the front of the net, pokes away at it, but Glenn has it sealed.
And Hannerhan trying to stuff that puck into the board or into the pads of Glenn, just trying to get it through.
Definitely nothing wrong with the greasy goals from that area of the ice as Hannerhan pulls the puck off the boards, brings it to the front of the net. And the Wildcats finally settle things down a little bit in terms of not letting ASU set up, and especially after ASU scored that quick goal to start the period. Good to see the Wildcats respond by shutting down the momentum. He's now down below the goal line. The Wildcats again get it up to the point. Kioka shadowed there. ASU knew they were going for Kioka the whole time. Now Gross in, waits, quick shot. Gould, that one hit him in the mask, I think, as Gould was a little bit shaken up after taking that.
And great recognition by the Sun Devils, seeing that Kioka lost his stick and pouncing on that opportunity.
Hodgson tried to go across to Kioka. Shetland, I'm not sure if he let that one through on purpose, but that allows ASU to set up once again below the goal line. Gross back to the point here. ASU just throws it into space. King gets there first, battling against Shetland. So now King stop, start, move along the near far boards. They get it back to the point. Robinson calling for the puck, quick shot, but Gould sees that all the way. Certainly not going to give up a goal or a rebound on that distant of a shot. So 15:24 left to go here in the third period. Wildcats still maintaining a 2-goal lead after the Sun Devils came out and cut into it right to start the period.
And the Sun Devils having a lot of success on the outside in the defensive zone for the Wildcats, really working the puck around, getting really solid passes.
So Walker in to take the face-off against Kylie Ram. Walker able to win that. Hughes just kind of flings it up the ice, can't connect with anybody, but now Dylan Walker. Beautiful move inside, outside. Can he beat the final man? Almost does, but keeps possession the whole way. As Dylan Walker playing with as much confidence as anybody could have. almost finishes off the beautiful dipsy dangle. Just couldn't quite get that last toe drag around the defender. They go back to the point, and now maybe a chance here as Curley races on to this puck. Curley tries to elevate it right below the bar. Not a whole lot to shoot at there for Jack Curley, and a good back check by ASU to make sure they took away the center of the ice.
That's a great defensive play on the Sun Devils.
Curley, you know, with every fiber of his being, he wanted to cut back middle, maybe try to go backhand, forehand, and beat Glenn, but good hustle there on the back check. Makes it so he has to take a less than ideal shot, but still an offensive zone draw for the U of A with 14:47 left to go. In the final period, Erickson, puck finally comes loose after it was tied up in the pile. Pizzo tries to throw it out, and a great battle there by Rossi to get possession of that puck. So now Pizzo with it, tries to go back across the grain to Rossi. He loses his sticks. He's got to go retrieve that. So now the Wildcats starting to apply the forechecking pressure, but just like that, ASU, a couple good layers, and they get it out and get it deep. Gould, he comes out to play it, wraps it around. Erickson gets it over the blue line. Now Erickson with a great hustle, possibly. Once again, the back check for ASU committed. Good job by them to get back into the play and make sure there was no odd man rushes. Looked for a second there like maybe Erickson and Pizzo would have a little bit of chance for a give and go, but 4 Sun Devils get back.
Yeah, and that play all started with Hayden Gould. Just the way he plays and how offensive he is with his net, going behind the net and just very comfortable making a play.
Having a goaltender who's confident playing pucks like that makes it so much harder for teams to dump and chase, and Glenn has to make a good pad save there. As the Wildcats continue to apply the pressure. Now Olsen, Kioka decides to not pinch. Good job there. Just holds the blue line, throws it down low. Gross, he comes away with the puck. So now King over the line. Robinson waits, tries to go back door to Gross, but Slack got in that lane, so a good job there by Eddie Slack. Now across once again, they go down low to Robinson, and Josephson with a fantastic block once again. Broken stick here for Eddie Slack, but the Wildcats able to get it out of the zone. Good read by Hanrahan.
The Wildcats doing a great job of breaking up that backdoor shot. I think there was 3 players for the Wildcats that were in that lane, so there was no way that was getting through.
So now Rue trying to battle for the puck. He gets taken down along the board. Stefan comes in. ASU player just kind of turtles and goes down to the ice. Didn't see him get hit that hard, as now they really start to go back at one another. Rue takes a shot up high, and that's going to be a penalty against the Sun Devils, as Rue was going back and forth with Palmer, and Palmer just came back at him and popped him right in the face. So Riley Rue, who's by far one of the most calm individuals I've ever met off the ice, getting under the skin of the Sun Devils here.
Yeah, with a very, very uncharacteristic play by the Sun Devils.
Well, we say that, but we've also watched years of ASU U of A hockey. I'm not sure how uncharacteristic that kind of is. But just a hard board battle. Stefan, Palmer, Rue all going at it. And Palmer just kind of gets the wires crossed a little bit and goes back at Rue too much. So you can't do that. Newland, who's still serving that 10-minute misconduct that got called earlier in the game. So Newland hanging out in the box with Palmer. They can be buddies for a little bit. We'll see what the call ends up being here, because with how much discussion the refs are doing, it might be more than just a simple roughing.
Looks like it was just a roughing for a minor penalty.
Okay, so it will be Palmer going to the box for roughing. And now a chance for possibly the Wildcats to put another knife in the Sun Devils, get that 3-goal lead back. As Rue comes in to take the face-off. Walker out there with already 2 goals and 4 points on the evening. Definitely got a feeling that they might try to get the puck to Walker, but Rue, beautiful move around the back of the net to create space. And that puts it over to Walker. So now Walker circles back, surveys, goes back to Kioka. Kioka down to Walker. Down low to Rue. Rue with a chance out in front, but the puck just slides off the stick. as Hughes was on the back door as well. So Kioka over to Stefan. Hughes tries the little touch pass down to Rue, but a good defensive play there seals that off. Stefan over to Hughes. A lot of different weapons on this power play for the Wildcats. Over to Walker, just couldn't settle it down immediately. But now Walker still with it, tries to maybe force it on the post. Just couldn't get much on that wraparound. But now it comes out to Hughes. Sun Devils have collapsed down low. Kioka over to Stefan. Beautiful saucer pass over to Kioka. Kioka with a beautiful pass to Walker. Walker trying to find Hughes, just couldn't receive it on the forehand for the shot. Hughes back to Stefan. 52 seconds left to go. Kioka with the shot, and that one just got tipped wide by Rue as he was posted up in front once again of Glenn. So now Hughes with a lot of time and space and a quick shot. That one comes loose. But ASU is some tire penalty killers, just barely able to get it out of the zone with the Wildcats right back in transition. But Stefan gets the puck stripped. Fortunate bounce off the ref. Comes right down to a Sun Devil player. Very fortunate bounce there for the Sun Devils as they almost take off the ref's head there, sending that one off the bench.
And the Wildcats really showing how dangerous they are on the power play, shot after shot, and just working the puck around beautifully.
And a lot of different looks for that power play unit. You've got Walker on the near boards with the one-timer. Stefan on the far side kind of likes to circle down to the dot and take a shot. Kioka up at the point. Rue down in front. That first power play unit looks fantastic for the Wildcats.
Yeah, and Walker's patience on the power play, really, like you said, surveying the play, trying to make the best decision as he possibly can.
So now with 10 seconds left to go on the power play, Maloney take it 200 feet up the ice. And now Curley with a quick shot and Glenn with a good glove save with only 3 seconds remaining on the power play. So 10:54 left to go in the third period. Wildcats maintain a 2-goal lead. And we'll be back tomorrow evening, 7:30 p.m. at the Tucson Arena to finish off the regular season. U of A versus ASU once again. Also at 1 p.m., the women's program taking on ASU at 1 p.m. So 2 back-to-back days of doubleheaders. Some long days up in the booth between today and tomorrow, but
back to 5-on-5 hockey.
So now a turnover in the zone. Rossi waits, tries to look for the open man. Glenn paddles that one up out of the slot. Rossi tries to feed it back to Bear, but just couldn't control it. So now Maloney feeds it right to Gross. Now Gross over the line. That one somehow kept onside by King, but Gould stops it. So no worse for wear for the Wildcats as King very, very close on that play, getting onside. But nevertheless, Gross, King, and Robinson continue to be dangerous for ASU. 10:22 left to go. The Wildcats don't want to see them get timid and try to just shut this down. You play on your heels, and ASU will take it to you over the course of these last 10 minutes. So the Wildcats need to stay aggressive, keep the puck out of their zone as much as they can. Don't allow ASU to set up. And that's exactly what Brian Erickson does there as they feed it out. Gross just dishes it in deep. Hodgson shadowed by King. Some just good communication there to get the puck quickly up and out of the zone with 9:56 left to go. And the Wildcats will get some fresh bodies onto the ice as Marchant feeds it up to Gross, not able to handle the puck, but no icing on the play. Kioka puts Gross into the boards. And now Swiger for the U of A. He takes a big hard hit along the boards. And Swiger is a tough customer. I'm sure he doesn't mind it much, as King put the body into him, but Swiger returns the favor and gets it into the slot. Now Eddie Slack with a shot. That one never got through. Swiger with the knee down one-timer and just sends it high and wide. Tristan Swiger got a lot behind that one.
I'm surprised that didn't break the back glass there.
So now ASU with a little bit of an opportunity to settle things down. Kylie Ram at the red line. Flynn reads that well, pokes it down. That one goes wide of Glenn. He elects to just let it go around the boards to Palmer.
And the Sun Devils are really trying to figure out how to break the puck out of their zone. and through the neutral zone as the Wildcats are just breaking up every single play.
So Cameron not able to receive that pass to the blue line, which will be an icing, so it'll come all the way back down the ice. And the Wildcats will get that top unit out there once again with Rue, Stefan, and Shetland. And even though Rue and Stefan have been the most noticeable on the power play, this line 5-on-5 has done a great job creating opportunities as well. Shetland's had at least 1 or 2 good looks along with Rue and Stefan.
Yeah, with this line, you can definitely see that offensive play for the Wildcats is inevitable.
So now Shetland, he'll wind it up, create some separation from Kylie Ram. Shetland, great job to get down the wing, stops up, looks for the pass, can't find it, but Rue does. So Rue feeds it middle to Shetland, and a great save by Glenn. Now a rip of a one-timer by Maloney, and that one's into the chest and held with no rebound, but Shetland absolutely robbed by Glenn as Rue somehow got that out to the slot for Shetland to get the shot away.
Yeah, Riley Rue's creativity in the offensive zone behind that net is just unmatched.
And Riley Rue, who missed a good bit of the start of the season with an injury, finally came back into action. And speaking with Tanner Harris and Chad Berman, they believe Riley Rue, number 18, could be the best overall forward this program has had in quite a long time. Still room for him to grow. And it is, usually the Wildcats have a pretty large group of graduating seniors, 6, 7, 8 guys. This season, pretty rare to only see 2 players graduating. Obviously, Josephson and Shetland, 2 key pieces, but aside from that, the top players on this roster will be back next season. Chance to grow some more chemistry, become more familiar with each other, but talking with Chad Berman too. In terms of acquisitions, new players, people that have made an impact, I just got to keep bringing it back to Hayden Gould, who in net for the Wildcats ever since the days of Anthony Churro, Nolan Bavolsik, that tandem. Having this level of stability and trust in the goal is just such a huge factor for the Wildcats moving forward, as Gould is just beginning his career here as a Wildcat. So excited to see what he can do. But right now it's all about the next 8 minutes. 27 seconds as Rue in to take the face-off once again, wins it back. Stefan dishes it back there to Baird. Baird with a quick shot. Glenn, that one popped in and out of the glove. Luckily for him, no Wildcats were in the vicinity. But Baird with a good quick shot. I will say from up here, you look at the size comparison between Maloney and Baird, both clocking at least over 6'2". And then you got a guy like Shetland down in front. It's just always amazing to see the height difference between these guys and how they play and how they skate.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a different mentality with that size difference. You have to be a lot quicker on your feet. Make sure that you have an opportunity.
That was another thing that Maloney added. A lot of guys on this back end. The Wildcats got a lot bigger, a lot stronger on the back end this season. Had a couple unfortunate injuries with a guy like Chris McGovern not being in the lineup at the moment, but another player that when he comes back can make a huge impact. That one gets thrown wide. Olsen can't get the shot through, but ASU gets possession right back. So now Olsen looking for a shooting lane, quickly across, a lot of time and space, and Gould comes out to shut down the angle as Franklin had a lot of time to think about what he wanted to do there, and Gould just comes out, gives him nothing to shoot at, challenges the angle, and the Wildcats will get a defensive zone face-off out of what looked like a grade A opportunity that Gould just shut down right away.
Yeah, what I love most about Hayden Gould is how much he commends his crease. He just really controls it and makes his presence known.
So a good quick shot there as the net comes off of its moorings as Kennedy ripped that one wide. So 7:25 left to go. Back tomorrow once again. If you can join us in person, we'd love to have you down here at the Tucson Arena for a Friday night matchup against ASU tomorrow. Puck drop at 7:30 p.m. We're always happy to have people on the stream, but even happier to see people in the building. And as I said, after a number of 1 p.m. games, just feels so good to be back at an evening game here at the Tucson Arena. No better way to finish off the season than against ASU. So now at the point. Quick shot. That one never got through, but came right back to Kennedy. And there was a chance out in front as Phillips was looking for the redirect. Now ASU continuing to mount the pressure. Can the Wildcats find the outlet valve? Good battle along the boards there. Not quite sure what that shot attempt was. There was there's nowhere for Quas to go with that. It just ends up backhanding it up and out of play. So that...
Yeah, it never hurts to try to stuff it into that post. Hayden Gould looked like he was kind of pushed out just a little bit, but still, Hayden Gould in the perfect position for that shot opportunity.
So now the Wildcats with an opportunity in the defensive zone to win a face-off. In to take the face-off was Rossi. U of A gets possession out of it. Now Erickson, he's going to get on his horse and almost put the ASU player into their own bench. Erickson almost helping out with the line change. So 6:45 left to go in the third period. Dangerous turnover there as Rossi finishes off the play, though, and makes sure that there's no time and space for ASU. Beautiful little chip pass there by Erickson to Pizzo. Now Pizzo working against Olsen. Pizzo goes down. Rossi had his man lined up. Just kind of, I think, let up at the last second. You don't want to take any penalties in the final minutes against ASU. And we'll see when they decide to pull Glenn get that extra attacker out if this lead maintains.
And the transition of physicality between the Wildcats lines is really throwing off the Sun Devils. They're trying to see if they have time and space. Next thing you know, you have John Baird coming right in front of you.
Right down Main Street, John Baird. And Ari Rossi, always a physical player as well. He's been good this evening. Hannerhan touches that one in deep. So out there with Slack and Josephson as they look to apply some pressure, force ASU to overthink the breakout, and just like that, turnover onto the stick of Kioka. As that one gets sent all the way out to Hannerhan, now possibly some time and space for Eddie. Slack with a quick shot right into the chest of Glenn, who holds that with no rebound. Hannerhan takes a bit of a cross check to the shoulder, but he's okay with that result.
It's to be expected when you post up right in front of the net, but
ASU and U of A, it's always I got a feeling there's going to be a bit of rollover to tomorrow. Sometimes the guys get it out of their system. You can kind of expect the next day's game to be a little bit more calm, but not a whole lot of extracurriculars this game. That one penalty against Palmer where he took Rue down.
You know, as a player, I don't think I would ever forget a play, especially if the game is tomorrow. But
yeah, these guys don't have short memories, luckily, so not quite sure what the discussion is here. Kioka is going to go head off the ice.
Looks like they didn't just get the line change. I'm not quite sure here. Got more Wildcat players entering the ice.
Because it wasn't an icing against the U of A, because obviously they're not in their own zone, so a little bit interesting there. But either way, Josephson not able to win that face-off. So Hannerhan dishes it back to the point. Now Maloney down low. Josephson, just a little stop-start along the boards. Palmer comes in to throw the shoulder in. And I like to see Josephson there. He just decides to skate away from the boards, get to the middle of the ice. Just such a smart, responsible two-way forward. Doesn't overcommit. Sees that his line mates have it tied up along the boards, and he just kind of circles back into the dangerous soft area of the ice.
Yeah, you always want to have that second man in. He's there for support, not directly on the puck.
And one thing Chad Berman described Will Josephson's game as is just simple. That's no insult whatsoever. Just he plays the game the right way. And right there, Cooper Flynn absolutely buries Gross, who I think was trying to get the better of Flynn. But ASU now in transition. Robinson, and they're offside. So Cooper Flynn absolutely buries Gross there. I think Gross was trying to, like I said, come in for the hit. Flynn got the hands up a little bit, but not too much to take a penalty.
Yeah, Gross was definitely a little frustrated on the previous hit. Kind of a dangerous knee-to-knee action coming out off the blue line.
So now Rue, Stefan, and Shetland out there for Chad Berman's Wildcats. Shetland gets it over the red line and dishes it in deep. Now Glenn behind the net. Rue can't seal it off, but the ASU almost turns the puck over in a dangerous spot, but Kylie Ram able to get to it first. Now a quick shot there. That's off the paddle. If they can get a 2-on-1 here, if Stefan can hustle, but a great back check here. Now over to Stefan. Tries to pull it back and just can't finish off the forehand. So once again, the back check of ASU taking away what looked like a guaranteed odd man rush. And Stefan just a little bit rushed there to get that away and just couldn't quite complete the move.
Yeah, the tenacity of the Sun Devils back checking this entire game is unmatched.
So Hughes down to Walker. Walker just tries to kind of flutter that one in on net, goes wide. Now Olsen. ASU with 3:30 left, 2 goals down. We'll see if they decide to pull Glenn if they get possession here. So Glenn holding firm in his crease. ASU over the red line. Marchand down below the goal line, holds onto it, looking for something out in the slot, just kind of tosses it in there, but no time and space as the Wildcats quick changes here. Quick shifts, quick changes, keep guys fresh, and that allows Rossi to attack with speed, jumps around his man, finally gets stopped by Marchand, but that allows the Wildcats to change out behind it. Rossi looking for that big hit and finds it. Rossi prides himself on his physical play, and when he's playing his best, that's what he's doing, is running around, hitting anything that moves. So now Erickson, he'll get in on the forecheck.
And the physicality is really picking up here in the remainder of the 5 minutes. 2:30 left in the third period.
2.5 minutes left to go in the third. Wildcats maintaining a 2-goal lead, especially courtesy of a 4-point night from Dylan Walker. So the Wildcats, Chad Berman will stick with that same line. Baird, Maloney on the back end. Rossi, Pizzo, and Erickson up front. Kind of the de facto energy line for Chad Berman. They bring the forecheck. They hit hard, and ASU, they're going to take a timeout here.
This is going to be the third timeout of this game. Normally don't see this many timeouts.
Well, the change this season was bringing in the media timeout, so that's
right.
That's what makes it seem like we've had a lot more than usual, because we literally have, but it's been the media timeouts. Promise they didn't change the rules and add any more timeouts to each team. So with 2:30 left to go, ASU is going to try to draw up something. For Chad Berman, he's going to set up his own options off of a face-off win. Hayden Gould, the closest to the bench I've ever seen him during an intermission, but maybe you just want to hang out with the guys a little bit this time.
Hayden Gould still with a very interesting stoppage of play traditions.
Yeah, very flexible dude. Likes to keep the hammies nice and loose during these little breaks.
Definitely more flexible than I'll ever be.
Yeah, hopefully. You just see Gould sitting there like that, and you just really hope he doesn't stand up and, just have a cramp or something. It's going to be real embarrassing for him. But he knows what he's doing. He's well hydrated. It's just I doing yoga and stuff, you sit like that for a while. Sometimes you pop up and the legs don't work quite right. But
I think it's just because you're old.
Yeah, that's true. It happens. So now Curley in to take the face off. Gross able to win it. Curley gets the stick knocked out of his hands. ASU just trying to get some outlet, force the offense as quickly as possible. Robinson with a bobbling puck, can't win it past Erickson. So an interesting combo out here in terms of forwards for Chad Berman. Walker out there with Erickson. Usually guys who are PK guys, maybe that's why you want them killing the last 2 minutes. But now Robinson with a quick shot, pad saved by Gould.
We have an empty net for ASU.
So Walker with a diving block. He might have 4 points, but he's willing to sell the body out. So empty net here, extra attacker on for ASU. as King tried to lob that in deep, skates onto it. Now King with a quick shot. That one hit the post. Got behind Gould, but U of A with a little bit of puck luck there as that shot from King rang off. So Palmer gets it across a bomb and they score. So Palmer puts it across to Marchant, and once again with the extra attacker, ASU makes U of A pay. And now we've got a 1-goal game with 1:32 left to go in the third.
It's not often that you see teams pulling their goalie and actually score a goal in the remaining time in the third period, but ASU definitely pulled it off.
ASU, they did this earlier in the season. They were down by 2 with about 2 minutes left. They pulled the goalie, got the equalizing goals, and forced it to a shootout. Not that I don't love a good shootout, but kind of hoping to get home a little bit before that. So we want to see the Wildcats close things out here, finish with a strong 1:30, get this game done in regulation, as ASU not going down without a fight. That was an absolute bomb from the point from Marchant through traffic that Gould just never had any chance at. So Robinson fights through the check of 2 Wildcats, or actually that's Cameron, but they turn it over here. Glenn barely got back into the net. Now Shetland with a quick shot that Glenn quickly gloves down so ASU can continue the attack.
And Shetland got that opportunity by a mishap of the Sun Devils trying to see if they were going to pull the goalie.
So now Glenn, I'm guessing he's going to make a quick skate to the bench. King over the line, tries to bring it out in front, can't connect. Held in at the line by Olsen. Olsen with a quick shot looking for the redirect. Now Glenn, he'll hustle to the bench. Wildcats not able to get it out of the zone. 40 seconds left to go in the third.
And 6-on-5 hockey again.
Great job there by Hughes to strip that puck away and get it out of the zone. Marchant can't keep it onside. Is now Gould behind the net with 27 seconds left. Can they get it over the blue line? ASU says no. So a great battle at the blue line by the Sun Devils to keep it in, but now the Wildcats do get it out, but it hits the glass on the bench, and I think this one's going to stay in the offensive zone, but with 17.1 seconds left, all eyes will be on the face-off man for U of A. And we'll see who Chad Berman trusts to take this. I'm guessing it's going to be Riley Rue. And he is out there to take the most important face-off of this game. 17.1 seconds left. Net empty for ASU, and they win it. Now Olsen at the line. Bomb from the point. Hanrahan got in the way of that one. There was a lot behind that slap shot from Marchant, and Hanrahan willing to put the body on the line to make sure that one doesn't get through, in a repeat of Marchant's previous goal.
And the Wildcats go back here for another face-off. Riley Rue again. Crucial moment for him.
So Rue gets waved out of the face-off dot. It'll be Hughes who comes in to take it. So dueling number 9s, Hughes and King. Hughes tries to just win it forward. Now a blast from Olsen. A lot of bodies out in front in traffic. Puck somehow gets loose. Puck's behind the net, and that will do it for the final seconds. As things could devolve here, it looks like everyone's just going to give everyone a couple pats, force everyone out of the pile. So the Wildcats with a bit of a hectic finish here in the third, but they get the win on home ice on a Thursday night, 5-4. And we'll be back tomorrow to bring you the rematch, 7:30 p.m., U of A versus ASU here at the Tucson Arena. Sebastian Janik with Garrett Kane, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Wildcat Hockey.